All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do they? They don't get it.
And the fake news and the liberal woke left, they're going crazy about pretty standard police work, this time in Syracuse, New York. Now, there is a fair amount of crime in Syracuse, a city in upstate New York. And I'm sorry, but there is such a thing as juvenile delinquency. And a little kid allegedly stole something, and the cops tried to bring him downtown. The folks didn't like that. Take a look.
What is y'all doing?
What are y'all doing?
What is y'all doing?
Guess. Take a guess what I'm doing.
Hey, you're like a baby to me. Why you?
Guess what I'm doing.
I don't know what you doing. I just see you snatching him off the.
No.
So what? So what's going on then?
You're stealing stuff. If you break into your house, you steal something.
Nah, man. What you selling, a bag of chips? So y'all treat me like a whole cold-blooded killer?
Keep walking.
Keep walking. You know, it's so tough to be a cop. Everyone's second-guessing. Everyone's running those cameras. Everybody is suddenly a lawyer. Juvenile delinquency, I'm sorry, it still exists again. And it may not be pretty, but it's a reality.
You don't even know what you're
Keep
talking
walking.
about.
I know what I just came up and see. I know the I just came up and see.
Okay, what did you see?
I see y'all snatching him off a bike like you're a grown man.
What's your hand?
Ain't he saying it wasn't him? What is y'all doing?
So, as Rush called it, the drive-by media, the woke mob, everyone's horrified by what they've seen here. And yeah, the optics aren't great. What is that kid, maybe 10, 11 years old, being hauled off by the cops? But of course, it doesn't tell the whole story. We don't see what happened before this picture. And little kids are capable of committing crimes, and we're not just supposed to let them go. And it's not a race thing, okay? I've seen white kids in handcuffs. I have seen black kids in handcuffs. And this isn't brand new, by the way. You can go back decades and decades and decades. We've always had youthful offenders. That's just the way it is and probably how it's always going to be. But with social media, outrage is always there. Now, back to this kid up in Syracuse. It was recorded by, we believe, a local rap artist by the name of Hondo. And, he likes to sing about the stuff that is not helping anybody out. You know, a lot of cursing, a lot of the N-word, and a lot of flashing money around.
This ain't SmackDown, nah. I don't wanna fight, nah. This ain't Smack. So for what I did in my heart, I up a Glock and let them effing bullets rip them apart. They know how I'm bopping, I've been lifting the start. That dummy thinking it's a race, bow, left for the start.
No, sit down, you ain't on gravity, but you could be a cavity. Bulldog hitting
So, if you've heard any rap, you've probably heard what he's talking about. The woes of the neighborhood and violence and degrading language. It's all there. Now, he's the one who promoted this video. We don't know if it's him who's speaking or a friend or a relative, but whoever is talking behind the scenes there is not helping.
What y'all doing? Leave him alone.
It's on camera, that's all we can do.
He a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid. I mean, these cops are, well, they're in their 20s, all right? These are working class people getting hassled for doing their job. And by the way, downtown Syracuse, it's not an affluent place, all right? They've got problems there. You can see it is a distressed neighborhood. And that brings up a larger issue. This kid was said to be stealing chips from a small store, a bodega, a small grocery store. This has happened before, where children have been apprehended by police, and then, there's a lot of controversy after shoplifting incidents in particular. In Cincinnati, a few years ago, an 11-year-old girl was stunned by a cop, that one on the left right there, a suspected shoplifter who was resisting and then ran away. An officer used a stun gun, but he explained what was happening. He explained what he was thinking. Listen to this.
Sweetheart, the last thing I want to do is tase you like that. When I say stop, you stop. You know you caught. Just stop. That hurt my heart to do that to you. Then I got to listen to all these idiots out here in the parking lot tell me how I was wrong for tasing you. You broke the law, and you fled. You know what, sweetheart? This is why there aren't any grocery stores in the black community, because of all this going on.
Grocery stores in the black community. That's a serious problem. Lack thereof. Shoplifting has driven a lot of these food retailers away. It's a real problem, and everyone's missing it again. Now, it's okay when corporate America occasionally talks about it, or corporate media, but they never follow up.
There's another silent crisis wreaking havoc on America's most vulnerable communities: food deserts.
The food deserts are killing us.
If you go to the white people neighborhood, they got markets here, markets there.
Access to healthy food is a racial and health equity issue.
About 19 million people in America live in a food desert. And Johns Hopkins research shows that food deserts disproportionately affect people of color.
And a big problem is shoplifting. That's why some of these big, whatever it's Pathmark or Publix or Whole Foods, it's very difficult for them to set up in some of these neighborhoods. This young man, possibly, if the allegations are accurate, are true, could be part of the problem. And by the way, this police intervention might be the luckiest break this kid ever had. Again, when there are cooler heads and emotions aren't so high, people talk about this stuff, even Michelle Obama.
This is happening all across the country. We're setting people up for failure if we don't fix this. With a modest initial investment of about $400 million a year, we're going to use that money to leverage hundreds of millions of more from private and nonprofit sectors to bring grocery stores and other healthy food retailers to underserved communities all across this country. If you can do it here, we can do it around the country. So let's move.
Let's move. Let's get it done. But no, nothing really ever gets done. It seems like nothing changes because folks won't talk about responsibility. Folks won't talk about shoplifting in the inner city, which is keeping a lot of these grocery stores from setting up shop. By the way, what happened to that police officer who spoke so movingly, candidly, and honestly about the situation? 7-day suspension. And, he got a lot of hell from the community. And, by the way, the young girl and her family, they were awarded $220,000 by the city. Kroger wrote them a check for $20,000. That's the store where the merchandise was allegedly stolen from. So these politically correct viewpoints when it comes to shoplifting and what's really happening has basically made shoplifting legal. Nobody wants to be called that. What a shame, huh? Hey, Jack Dorsey, he invented Twitter. And this guy actually is pretty thoughtful. I have my problems with Twitter, but he says that CNN, they use their crews to create conflict and film it. Oh boy, does he have that right. So much of the mainstream media, they are about creating conflict and then capturing it and selling it. We've seen it a million times, a billion times actually. And this week, we have some conflict that turned out to be phony. Who remembers during the summer of 2020, this scene in Buffalo?
He is bleeding out of his ears. Bleeding out of his ears. He's bleeding out of his ears.
Now, can we see that one more time, please? Let's see it one more time. I don't know of a city in the world where you can go up to cops and start messing with their uniforms and equipment and not expect literal pushback, all right? So, to me, the moment I saw it, I saw a legitimate use of force. But of course, the cops were suspended and all hell broke loose and the media went crazy. National media went nuts.
The unblinking camera once again tonight is framing some of the very issues involving police that have sent tens of thousands onto the streets in protest. The video of a 75-year-old man forcefully shoved to the ground by a Buffalo police officer, the latest jarring image rocking the consciousness of a country in turmoil.
Some officers tonight accused of going too far. The disturbing confrontation now seen by so many, the police officer shoving a 75-year-old demonstrator down to the concrete in Buffalo, New York.
Number one, What difference does the man's age have to do with it? How are the officers supposed to ascertain the age, right? They don't mention, either David Muir or the other one, Lester Holt, that the man manipulated their uniform, that the man touched them first. I think we should point out, don't you, that the cops have been totally exonerated. An arbitration panel ruled that the use of force was absolutely legitimate. Absolutely legitimate. Are they leading their nighttime news shows with that information? Of course not. They create conflict, whether it's real or not, and then they sell it. Oh, by the way, keep your eye on the New York Times if you want to. Look, it's my hometown paper. I kind of grew up on it, and it is a very strange newspaper. Some of the headlines that we've noticed recently: how to support a child on the transgender spectrum. Okay, but how about this? On Easter, in this time of war, I propose we give up God. Yeah, thanks a lot. So, the New York Times is strange, and it looks like it's about to get stranger. They have a new executive editor taking the top job there. His name is Joe Kahn. And to me, he looks like, I don't know, an assassin from the 1800s. This is his official portrait. Here he is right here. Does this look like a madman or what? Who looks at the camera like that? Now, it gets worse. Here he is. I mean, come on. This is a bizarre individual. Whatever happened sitting in a chair, looking at the camera and smiling? No, they're too stylish. They're too artistic for that. Look, you can't judge a book by its cover. Who knows what this guy is going to implement at the New York Times? I'm not expecting sanity, though. Are you? And the New York Times, they dictate so much of where the left goes. They take their cues from the Times.